morning. It's Wednesday morning. It is October 10th. This is WGTV Today. I'm Wayne Alley.
I'm Kim Best. Good morning.
Good morning to you. It is, what a beautiful day we have. A full program for you today. Our guests include, today we'll be talking about the Downtown Goldsboro Development Corporation. We'll be talking with some folks from the Department of Social Services about child support. We also have on today's program Terry Jordan of Gateway, or the Goldsboro Wayne Area Transportation Authority. And we'll have part two of our discussion with the Honorable Judge Arnold Jones.
Oh, that's a good lineup.
It is a great lineup, and thank you for being with us today. So we'll start with, what do you have on? What day is the 27th on?
Hold on. Saturday?
Saturday.
It is.
All right, we just wanted to make a note of that, okay?
Yes, we do.
All
We
right.
have so many interesting events coming up. I've got a lot of new ones for you, so get your calendars ready.
Yes.
One of the things that I was thrilled to hear, because I love these type things, is dueling pianos.
Oh, really?
I love that. There's several places down in Wilmington that do that, so I'm thrilled that we're having that. That's a guitar.
Oh, yeah.
But there's several places in other communities, so I'm really glad that we're having that come to the Paramount Theater.
Dueling pianos.
But it's two local pianists. It's Jimmy Aycock and Thomas Vick.
Oh, really?
Yes. And it's Friday, October the 12th at the Paramount Theater, and they'll have two pianos on stage, and they'll be dueling one another with different composers and different songs that they'll be playing.
Let me tell you something. If you don't know these two gentlemen, you need to go to this, because this will be an amazing show. I don't know anything about the program, the show, but I do know these two guys.
Well, they're very talented.
Oh, extremely talented. In fact, both Jimmy and Thomas are top-notch, top-quality musicians who could easily become,
oh yes,
professional recording artists at the piano. And
well, it'll be a fun and unusual event, but mark your calendars, Friday, October the 12th.
Dueling pianos.
Dueling pianos. You can go to the Paramount's website and find out more information about it, and you can call them to get tickets and that type thing. I thought that was pretty neat.
Dueling pianos?
With your piano.
Yeah. Got you in the key of R. Okay. Okay, anyway. See what else is going on. Have you ever thought about maybe adopting a pet of some kind? You know, the Wayne County Animal Adoption and Education Center on Clingman Street has rooms full of little animals who need homes, permanent, long-time homes.
That's right.
They need someone to look after them, someone to care for them. And you know what? It's an unconditional love when you have a friend like that. And there's plenty of them out there.
There's no doubt about it.
Looking for good homes. I know.
We went there a few years ago, and when my son was younger, and we got a little dog, just a little mix, and her name is Maggie. Maggie, and one of the smartest, and we have 4 dogs. She is, I know, it's a lot. One of the smartest dogs you can possibly imagine.
Really?
And we got her when she was literally only 8 weeks old.
Yeah.
And we've had her for years now. She's probably 6. But she is a precious, precious dog. And it's one of those things, rather than going and to a breeder or somewhere like that, we decided we wanted to rescue a dog and just do something different. So my son went in and found the one that he thought was right.
Right.
And Maggie has been a wonderful addition to our family for years. So, if the time is right, and if you have the time to watch a dog and look after a dog, because it is time consuming, this is a great opportunity for you to bring something special into your home. That's
wonderful. The Animal Adoption Education Center on Clingman Street, again, the cages are full of little animals looking for homes. Some are bigger animals, some are older, some are younger. It just and the older animals need homes too.
Absolutely. Oh yes.
And they are
they're
very
probably trained
loving.
A lot of times.
Yeah, they're already trained. That's
Some
right.
are.
That's right. Anyway, there's a building full of animals there that need homes, dogs and cats, kittens and puppies. So head on out there and adopt a pet. Also, don't forget the Board of Elections is letting us know that the 18th is the day of the one-stop voting begins. One-stop absentee voting begins here in Wayne County, well, in all of North Carolina. And if you have any questions about that, you can call the Board of Elections office at 731-1411, 731-1411.
We also have a Halloween 5K. It's a Halloween 5K walk or run.
It's a scary run.
It is Saturday, October the 27th at Stony Creek Park.
It is at Stony Creek Park.
It is, which is over on Ash Street.
It's on East Ash Street, it is.
And I'll give you the phone number while he's howling.
We're going to look for the phone number here.
It is. It's Goldsboro Parks and Recreation is putting that on at 919-739-7484. Halloween 5K, walk or run, Saturday, October 27th.
Boo.
My goodness.
When is that?
Saturday, October 27th.
October 27th it is.
5K. There's a lot of people that do those. I am surprised when you get on Facebook and I'm putting information for the city on the Goldsboro Facebook page. I see so many people that are doing runs all over our community.
I know.
So we really have a lot of those, and I think people start doing them as a team, and it sort of starts building bonds. And people have a really good time and stay in shape, and it's good, healthy hearts.
You know, some of the runs here in Goldsboro and in Wayne County are major runs that attract people from all over the state and all over the East. They're running these things.
They do.
Okay, it's October 10th, and today...
Farmers market's today.
What?
Just thought about it. The farmers market is today.
Ooh.
We only have a few more Wednesdays
Ooh.
before it closes down.
The farmers market is today.
That's right, 9:30 this morning to 7 p.m. or whenever it gets dark. Herman Park, fresh local produce. Support your local farmers.
It starts getting dark around sundown.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Thought I'd
But
pass
we
that
only
along.
probably have, what, a couple more Wednesdays?
Yeah, I think
2 to 3 more?
That's right. Yeah.
And then it's closing down for the season.
Let's go ahead and talk to someone from the Downtown Goldsboro Development Corporation, Meg GERNAAT, and from the Department of Social Services. That's up next on WGTV Today.
Hi, welcome to WGTV Today. I'm Kim Best, your host, and today I have with me Meg GERNAAT. She's the Promotions Coordinator for Downtown Goldsboro Development Corporation. Hi, Meg.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, DGDC holds a tremendous amount of events downtown Goldsboro. But you know what? I haven't thought about it before, but there may be other people in the community, other organizations or other people that would like to also hold events downtown Goldsboro. Can you tell us a little bit about how you can do that and tell us some of the events that are already held downtown?
Yeah, we have some great locations downtown that people can utilize for their events, and I mean events of all different types. So we've got Cornerstone Commons, which is an outdoor location, and it has a stage, and it's a cute little setting. It's all on cement, so it's great for anything you want to do outdoors. We've got the Paramount Theater, which has been utilized for weddings.
It has. That is so unique.
And it's beautiful in there.
Yeah, I've seen pictures. You know, it's just amazing what people can do and how different each one looks.
Yeah, and the staff at the Paramount is wonderful to work with. They're always accommodating and willing to, you know, if it's your wedding, you want it to be so special. And
be your way.
Right, and they want it to be that for you.
And they accommodate you.
We also have the Wayne County Museum. And they host smaller events. I'm not sure what type of events they've done in the past, but I do know that they make that space available.
Okay.
So if you've got a smaller group of people who are looking to meet, they are
in a unique environment.
Yes, they are a wonderful location.
Okay.
And then we've got the Veterans Memorial Park.
And that is absolutely gorgeous.
Yes, it's got beautiful scenery, especially in spring, summer, and fall. Gorgeous out there.
I can see a beautiful wedding being there.
Oh yes.
Oh my goodness.
And then we've got the Acme Theater and Top Hat Ballroom.
That's right. And that's a nice location from groups meeting to if you wanted to hold a small dinner theater.
Yes.
It's just so many things because he has a phenomenal floor in there, mirrors across the whole backside, a small stage, a sound system. And that is right here downtown Goldsboro on Center Street.
And Chip, who is...
Chip Swirling.
Yeah, he's the one who manages the building. He is phenomenal to work with, and he is so upbeat and energetic and
creative.
Yes, if you have something that you're looking to do that's dance, or like you said, you need a stage or a large room like that, he is the guy to go to.
That's right. Well, my goodness, that's a long list of different venues that you can hold whatever, from like you said, from a wedding to a meeting to a dinner theater, whatever you would like.
Right.
Well, tell me about some of the other organizations other than DGDC and things that are sponsored by the city that are held downtown that we may not really have thought about the fact.
So we've got the Taste of Wayne that's held on October 13th. They are utilizing Cornerstone Commons, the United Way is.
Right.
And they're also utilizing a chunk of Center Street that's right there near Cornerstone Commons.
Okay.
We had the Wayne County Chamber. They used the Paramount for one of their business after hours events. And we were fortunate at the DGDC to have some of our annual events picked up by other organizations this next year. So we got the Partnership for Children, the Optimist Club, and the Wayne County Library, who are picking up teddy bear picnics and the ice cream social.
Oh, nice. So they'll be sponsoring those, and they'll be the ones coordinating it instead of DGDC doing it now.
Right, and they're still hosting them downtown. So it's just, downtown is a great area to host events. I mean, everybody knows where downtown is, and you know, like I said, we have such diversity in the venues.
Right.
So anybody who's looking to host an event should really give our office a call.
So y'all are really looking for other people that may be interested to come downtown and utilize some of these venues.
Yes.
Okay. So if people are interested in starting an event or bringing an event downtown, what do they do?
They can call the DGDC office, and we will be happy to help point them in the right direction. We'll get a little bit of information about the type of event they want to host, and then we can give recommendations, because we've hosted events for years.
Right.
So we've got experience with the different venues.
Well, now, are there charges?
Some of them are. The different locations have different charges.
Okay.
But like I said,
and you can discuss all of that.
Right. If they give us a call, I can let them know, this is what you're going to pay here, or vice versa here.
Right, right. So you can give them a breakdown on what it would be for each venue.
Yeah.
Okay, and recommendations based on what you all have held in the past as to what would best meet their needs. Wonderful, based on their particular situation.
Yeah, and we work on a weekly, daily basis with the people who oversee those other venues.
Right.
So it's not hard work for us to pick up the phone or shoot an email and say, I've got someone interested.
And you can give them lots of suggestions and creative ideas as well. Well, thank you, Meg. I think that is something that the community may not have been aware of, that, if you are an organization or a business that would like to host something in one of our venues downtown Goldsboro, it is available.
Yes.
And they can call your phone number or go to the DGDC website, and you all can walk them through the procedures on how to do it. So thank you for that information. I think it will be helpful to many of us. If you're interested, you can go to the DGDC website, call the phone number. You never know. Your event or your organization, it might be interesting to host it downtown Goldsboro and try something different. So thanks for listening today, and I hope you learned more about what's happening in your city.
Our guest today is April McAuliffe, and April is with the Department of Social Services. You work in the Child Support Department.
Yes, sir.
Well, and what do you do there?
I'm a supervisor with Wayne County Child Support.
And April, can you give me an idea approximately of how many cases are currently being served by your department?
A general idea is about 9,000 cases.
9,000?
Yes, sir.
9,000 cases?
Yes, sir.
And that's here in Wayne County alone?
Yes, sir.
How many people do you have working these cases?
Probably around 18 workers. We have establishment workers and we have enforcement workers. The establishment workers are the ones that actually initiate the case. Enforcement workers is actual, when an order has been completed, they enforce the case.
So as a result of that, the cases end up coming to you through a court decision, a judge's decision, or how?
Some. What happens is, depending on the type of assistance the child may be receiving, we would have to complete a client interview, and if they are on services, we may have to enforce for child support, medical, and depending on the arrears, meaning past public assistance, if they're receiving a type of assistance for the child, or if the custodial parent just is requesting for our services, they can come in and pay a $25 application fee and request for child support at that time. Now, when this is done, we would complete a client interview, and after the client interview, depending on what we're asking, we would then have to locate the non-custodial parent in order to bring him in to see if he'd be willing to sign whatever the custodial parent is requesting voluntarily. If he is not, and we do have to enforce child support, then the case would have to be taken to legal action, which would be court.
So, and this is always an unfortunate almost always an unfortunate situation where there is a family problem, domestic problem. The family separates or divides up or divorces, and that's usually where this will end up. If there's children involved, will end up in your hands.
Correct. We enforce orders if the absent parent is absent from the home, the non-custodial parent.
Okay, so
and it could be mother or father. It doesn't have to be just one particular party.
yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Yes.
Because it's not always only men.
No.
There's oftentimes it's the other party as well as women
Yes, sir.
involved.
Yes, sir.
Now, do you ever, and I know, given the situation, the environment, the circumstances, not everyone's happy about what all's going on with this. So, do you ever have problems with locating or getting people to agree to the terms?
Yes, sir, we do. The non-custodial parent's main concern is due to the income amount that they would be put under order for 3 years that they would have to pay.
Mm-hmm.
And at times, most of the reason is that they are unable to afford it. And it might be due to the economy or due to the fact that they just don't feel that that amount is correct. But a worksheet is completed using the North Carolina guidelines, regulations, and it's based on gross income for the plaintiff and gross income for the defendant. And once that worksheet's completed, if they're not in agreement, they do not have to sign that order voluntarily. It can go to court, and the judge can make that decision.
Now, do the people involved ever feel that, mistakenly of course, that you're the one who decides what they have to pay? Do they ever come after you about that?
Well, I feel at times that due to their frustrations maybe or questions that they're just unaware of, that once they talk and give us questions and concerns that they have, we try to explain to them, you know, these are North Carolina federal guidelines and regulations that we have to follow.
Do you have, and they have to follow this, you have to follow this.
Yes, sir.
What may be another misconception that people have about your office? Would you, if you just had to pick something that they just don't understand, that you wish you could just sit someone down and say, look, here's the way it works?
Well, I would say that would have to be when an order is already in effect and how the financials actually are received, how the payments are posted, and then, you know, how our system is set up that it charges on the first of every month and at the end of the month. If you don't make your payment, then you're considered delinquent. That's a lot of confusion, and they feel at times that because that's their money you're messing with, that it could be incorrect.
Yeah. So when somebody is, say, out of position, and you have the task of locating them, how do you go about doing that?
Well, we have 3 sources to locate a non-custodial parent. One mainly is the custodial parent. We'd like to bring him or her in to ask, you know, any information that they can provide for the non-custodial parent. Once they provide that information, then the workers would have to follow up with whatever information they provide to get it verified. The second source is our automated interfaces with federal and state systems. That is an overnight process that, as long as we have a social security number for the non-custodial parent, we can search them by their social overnight. If they find some information for us, the workers will receive a work list stating that this particular non-custodial parent has been located successfully. That saying that we might have an address or we might have an employer, but the workers still have to follow up to verify that information.
Okay.
And third is manually workers just searching online verification. We use what we call Worm Portal, which has several links together that for the Employment Security Commission for employment or addresses to see if we can get them verified that way. Now,
there are times, I'm sure, that when people are not happy with the judge's decision and you say this is what you have to pay every month, and then they all of a sudden they can't be found. Do people actually do this purposely? They try to hide in order to avoid payment of child support?
Well, I'm sure it's a possibility that, I can put it to you this way. What we try to do if we are unable to locate them is once we get that address verified, we try to get a sheriff to go and serve the non-custodial parent at their home. Now this is where a lot of confusion sets in.
Please help me here.
Yes, okay. This is child support is a civil matter,
Right.
meaning if a sheriff is to go to an address and knock on the door and say, is this non-custodial parent here? That party states he's not here. Whether that party is inside that home or not, that sheriff cannot search those premises. If they say that that party's not there, that's as far as they can go due to the fact that it's a civil matter. When that happens, the address, the sheriff sends back, service is what we call, informing us that this non-custodial parent was unable to be located for whatever reason, vacant home or party says he was not here, and we have to start our location process over again and get another verified address in order to get him served. And this is a process that does take some time, where custodial parents could be frustrated because they know he's there, or they know she's there, and the sheriff's unable to serve them.
I'm not saying anyone would not be totally truthful to a deputy sheriff.
Yeah.
But what if they're not totally truthful and they say, well, this person you're looking for is not here. The sheriff can't go any further than that.
Right. There
How
are
do you do
other
that?
means.
Okay.
Say if they're working.
Now, please understand, we don't want to give anybody any ideas here, and we
mean,
don't want to give any.
absolutely
We don't want to
not,
give
no.
anybody. We don't want to give anything away
This
either.
is for the children. That's
Exactly.
what we need to remember. It's for the children.
And we also want to mention that we would strongly, and I mean strongly, encourage everyone to abide by the court's decisions to pay
Yes.
their child support.
Well, it's not going to go away, I can tell you that.
That's right. That decision's not going to
Yes,
go
sir.
away, so they're required to pay.
Exactly. And
Because
those
they're-
arrears continue to accumulate. Even though when that child turns 18, their child support may stop, but they're still going to have that balance until it's paid in full.
It's got to be paid.
Yes, sir.
It's got to be paid.
Just like a bill. It's just like electric bill or a house bill. It's your responsibility if you've been put under order by a judge.
And even more seriously, it's about your children.
Absolutely.
And that's what's sad
Yes, sir.
about it, is
I
that people
think we
don't want to pay
forget
their
about
child.
the children.
I know, and it's a bit upsetting.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to give it. So what are the other routes you would take to locate?
Those are the three sources that
Okay.
I just provided,
All right.
which is mainly the client. Second, the automated interface through federal and state systems. And the third one is our manual information that we can pull up online. Vine Link, which is inmate information, Federal Bureau and North Carolina Department of Correction. Like I said, we had a warm portal online verification that we can pull up to see what type of assistance they may be receiving, and that's important because if a non-custodial parent is receiving disability, like Social Security disability, you know, in that situation, if we do have an order, we need to close that case due to the fact that we shouldn't be enforcing it.
What if there's a situation where the non-custodial parent disagrees with the decision and just absolutely refuses to pay? They still have to pay. Can they appeal the decision, but would they go through your office, or what would they do?
Well, when we ask them to come in voluntarily and we discuss the worksheet with them and they're just not in agreement, we explain to them that they have every right to go before a judge, that this is not something, this is voluntarily. However, once it goes to court and the judge rules an order, that order is what we as workers have to enforce.
Okay. So what's the bottom line here? What do you recommend? What do you suggest about locating a non-custodial parent?
Okay, what I would suggest is for the non-custodial parent to please come in and talk to the workers. Ask them your questions, give them your concerns. Let's discuss your case, because you'll understand the process a whole lot better than just ignoring an appointment letter if you receive it. Or if you're served and you don't come to court, you could have an order for arrest out. And that's not good either.
That's not good either, and that certainly doesn't look good on anyone's record. And I also take it that your department is not there to judge whether anybody's right or wrong.
That's right.
That the decision was made by someone besides a person in your office. It came to you, and your job is only to act on that decision.
Yes, sir.
For the children.
Yes, sir. For the children.
All right. If anyone has any questions about this, if there's a non-custodial parent that wants to know more, how do they call you? How do they get up with you?
We have 2 numbers, and
Okay.
please let me explain that as well. Our office here, we have 4 representatives. Unfortunately, if they're on the phone, which is the number 919-705-1911, they are unable to answer the next call until they complete the first. So at times, the phone may ring, and I could say that that could be a little bit frustrating when a custodial parent or non-custodial parent is trying to reach someone. But we do have a 1-800 number as well, and this is for those that don't live in North Carolina that could contact, and a work list would be sent to the appropriate worker so we can take action on the case, which is 1-800-992-9457.
Okay, I want to go over those again. You have a local number
Yes.
that people can call, and you will respond. However, if there's a caseworker, one of 18 people working 9,000 cases on the phone at that time, it will not go to voicemail.
No, sir.
It just rings.
Yes, sir.
And that can be frustrating.
Yes, sir.
So that number, the local number, is 1-919
705
705
1911.
1911
Yes, sir.
or 1-800
Yes, sir. 992
992
9457.
9457.
And we also have a website, North Carolina, www.northcarolinachildsupport.com.
Now, is that North Carolina or NC?
NC.
NCChildsupport.com.
Yes, sir.
NCChildsupport.com. Now, is that an interactive site? If someone needs information,
Yes.
can they contact you through the website?
No, but the information as far as being able to contact Wayne County Child Support does give the phone number.
Phone numbers.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Now, also too, on our website, we have worksheets. We have a worksheet A, a worksheet B, and a worksheet C, which they can go in there and kind of play with their income to see what they may have to pay. You know, impute the plaintiff and the defendant's income, daycare information, medical insurance information. If they have any other child support obligations, they can impute that on the worksheet. Worksheet A is when the custodial parent has the child full-time. Worksheet B is, I believe it's the split worksheet. I might get B and C confused, but the split worksheet is when maybe there's 2 children and one stays with the mother and one stays with the father. You use that type of worksheet. And then another one is if the father may have the child half of the year and the mother may have the child the other half of the year.
It can get complicated,
Yes,
can't
sir.
it? And
Yes,
that's
sir.
why people need to call you to work out the details that will be beneficial to all parties,
Yes, sir.
mainly the children.
Absolutely.
But you're also there, you're not there to get everything you can out of somebody. You're there to abide by the judge's decision or the decision of those who decide what's to be done.
North Carolina guidelines, absolutely.
Right, all right.
Yes, sir.
And the decision that would be best for everyone concerned.
Yes, sir.
April McAuliffe, our host, our guest today. I'm the host, she's a guest. From the Child Support Department of the Department of Social Services here in Wayne County. April, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're back on WGTV today. Thank you for being with us on this Wednesday morning, middle of the week. And you mentioned about the farmers market thing.
That's right. That's today. Remember, we only have a few more before it closes, October 31st, the end of the month there. We'll shut it down for the season, and it'll open back up next spring. So take advantage of fresh local produce today.
That's exactly right. By the way, just want to let you know that the new Wayne County Senior Center, the Peggy M.
yes.
Seegers Senior Center, is getting ready to open the end of this month, the first week of November. But talking with Erin the other day, she's shooting for the end of this month.
I'm sure they'll have a big grand opening.
Wow, you will not believe this place.
I know, it's nice.
It is gorgeous in there.
The seniors will
Gorgeous.
love it. It'll be a great attraction for
Yeah.
our local senior citizens.
It's enormous, and that's all I can say about it because you just won't believe it. You just will not believe it.
That's great.
Beautiful. And Erin is so excited. In fact,
Is she the director?
well, yes, she's director of the Services on Aging.
Okay.
And she is, in fact, she's about 2 feet taller than she was last week. And I thought it was because she was taller, but it's not really. It's because she's 2 feet off the floor. She is so excited about this. She's just so excited.
I'm sure a very nice new facility, and she knows that her seniors will be happy, and
Oh, yeah.
more people will be attracted and want to participate. I understand.
Very excited. We'll have a report on that for you too, by the way.
I've got some more details on the Really Chilly Challenge.
The Really
Chili Challenge.
Challenge.
It is Saturday, October 27th, but
Okay.
it's from 11 to 2. We didn't have the hours before.
Okay.
The cost is $5 for chili tasting.
Oh.
Chili tasting and testing,
Oh.
because you get to vote.
Ah.
Children under the age of 5 are free. If you want to have your own team like we've talked about, if you think you have the best chili recipe in town, you can get a team together. The entry fee for a team is $75. And this is the annual fundraiser for the Community Soup Kitchen.
Okay.
All proceeds go to benefit them. From 11 to 2, Saturday, October 27th, right here on Cornerstone Commons, I believe.
Yeah, that is for the soup kitchen.
That's right.
All right, that is great. Coming up before that, if you're familiar with Willowdale Cemetery, and we've talked about this before now, coming up on the 16th, which is next Tuesday, the 16th, a new organization has been formed called the Friends of the Willowdale Cemetery. They're going to have their meeting at 5 o'clock Tuesday evening at the Wayne County Museum on North William Street. And it's free to attend, and it's open to the public, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And
It's
if you
all
want
about
information,
preserving.
it's all about, yeah, it's all about preserving the Willowdale Cemetery, which is a fascinating place. All right, all right.
is.
What you got?
Let's see. Wayne County Chamber of Commerce is having a Home and Garden Expo. Once again, Saturday, October the 27th. Boy, that's a busy day.
It's going to be a busy day.
From 10 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. They say take this opportunity to market your products and set a great image for the Home Builders Association of Wayne County. That is Saturday, October the 27th from 10 to 5. If you'd like additional information, call the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce or visit their website. But that is the Home and Garden Expo.
That is nice.
Yeah, that'll
That's
be big.
fun.
It always
Yeah,
is.
it will be big. Okay, let's see what else we have here. We've got Terry Jordan is the director of the Goldsboro-Wayne Transportation Authority, and that includes Gateway.
Yes.
And there's a lot of things happening with Gateway here lately. And in fact, we talked to Terry several times. And one of the times we talked to Terry, we talked about Gateway. So let's now turn to Terry Jordan and Gateway on WGTV Today. Today we're talking with Terry Jordan, and Terry's the director of the Goldsboro-Wayne County Transportation Authority. Thanks for being with us. Hope you're doing well.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
This is better known as our local bus system, I guess, for lack of a better term. This is Gateway, right? That's what we're talking about.
That is correct.
Of course, now there's several things that fall under that umbrella, but I want to talk about Gateway today for just a moment. Give me a little background on Gateway. What is Gateway? How many buses do we have?
Okay. Well, the Goldsboro-Wayne Transportation Authority is affectionately known as Gateway. I guess many moons ago, several years ago, there was a different name which encompassed the word Gateway, and it's the nickname has just stuck. We currently have 31 vehicles in our fleet.
31.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And it's comprised of 5 fixed route type buses, which are the larger 35-foot buses that are utilized within the city service. And then the remaining are 22-foot and 20-foot light transit vehicles, which are the not quite small vans, but the medium-sized vehicles. And then of those, we've got 9 high-top vans, which we use to shuttle passengers from their residence primarily to wherever they need to go to, whether it be a doctor's appointment, a shopping trip, a trip to wherever they need to go to. We pick them up from their home and take them directly to their destination.
And these vans, you pick up the client from the home. And how do they do that? What sort of advance notice do you have to pick up somebody at their home?
Okay. Well, we have 2 types of service within that range, where we have citizens that book the trips on their own, and that is a 48-hour in advance reservation required. So you can call in any time before 2:30 any day of the week for a trip 2 days later.
Okay.
And you would just give your origin, which is generally your home, and the destination, whether it be to work, whether it be to school, going shopping, or even going to visit another friend in the county.
Wow.
Then secondarily, we have what we call agency type trips, which are trips that fall under somewhere like DSS, social services, or any other workshops in town or something like that. And those are usually booked by a representative for the individual. And those are also coming in usually about 2 days in advance. It allows us to build our schedule and accommodate all of the passengers that are requesting the trips.
So Terry, can you pick up somebody on a regular schedule? Can you say pick up a student every day and take them to school?
Exactly. We have a lot of that. What we call that is a standing order. So an individual contact us and say, I need to go to this location, whether it be school or even for an employee. I need to go from home to work on a daily basis, and my work schedule I need to arrive at work at 8 a.m. and we will schedule that individual for a 8 a.m. drop-off from here through eternity, unless they say differently.
Until they say stop.
Exactly. Or if they generally will call and say, okay, I don't need to go to work tomorrow, or it's a holiday, or you know, I just don't need your transportation for this day, we'll take them off the trip that specific day or time frame that they've requested and resume just like nothing happened the next time they need to go back out.
Wow.
The only drawback with that is we have a what we call a window. And if you're in the county, that window is an hour before your drop-off time. Or if you're outside of if you're in the county, it's 2 hours. But if you're within the city limits, it's an hour. So if an individual needs to get to work at 8 o'clock and they're in the county side of things, the van could be there as early as 6 a.m.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, what it does is it allow us to able to provide the trips for everyone that needs the trips for that day.
So you pick up more than one person. You plan a route, if you will, to pick up that person, then 2, 3, or 4, maybe more.
Exactly. Most of our vehicles are 8 passengers is the minimum, with 2 wheelchair stations, and then on up to at least 20 passengers on the same vehicle. So of course our goal is to maximize efficiency. So we'll put as many people on a vehicle as we can at the same time within limitations. We don't expect anyone to ride for 2 hours just to have a full vehicle.
Right.
What we do is we try to set the trip up where we can start from the furthest point and work our way back in, maybe into town or somewhere in that area.
Now this has really got to be expensive. I mean, this has got to cost a fortune, right?
It costs a pretty penny, but for the passenger themselves, they pay a $6 charge per trip, per each direction, if it's out of their pocket. As I mentioned, a good portion of our trips are billed to agencies, so the agencies pay that cost for the passenger. But if a passenger is paying out of pocket, they're paying $6 one way.
Really?
And the balance of the trip is subsidized by our federal, state, and local funds.
That's an amazing amount, because $6 one way is what? Barely 3 gallons of gas.
Exactly. And we have passengers that are coming from one end of the county to the other sometimes. We do provide out-of-county service as well to areas like Duke, Chapel Hill, Raleigh, but those trips currently are only for medical purposes.
Medical purposes only.
Exactly. And that's, of course, at a higher rate.
Right.
But generally, those are funded through the agencies. Okay. But like I said, for the passengers anywhere within the county, that trip is $6.
That is amazing. Now, if someone wanted to find out more about this, or if they wanted to take advantage and call up the van, and how busy are you now? Do you stay?
Oh, we are quite busy. Less than 18 months ago, we were traveling and potentially serving about 450 trips each day. That number is more than 100% increase to now over 1,000 trips per day on an average day. That's usually about 500 people going back and forth, if you do the numbers roughly.
Do you have room for any more? Can you?
We're close to the point of saturation.
Really?
Exactly. And all we're only talking about our van side of the service right now, which is the service that picks up the passenger from their home and takes them to their destination. That doesn't even encompass the fixed route service where the passenger waits at a bus stop.
Right.
So, yeah, we are definitely at a point where we're carrying almost to capacity as much as we can. So.
Wow. Well, we're going to talk more about the Gateway bus system here in another program. We're going to talk about the new terminal, and we're going to talk about also the new service that's been opened between here and Wilson, the Amtrak bus system. We're going to talk about how you play a role in that as well.
All right.
All right, that's coming up. We've been talking with Terry Jordan of the Goldsboro-Wayne Transportation Authority, and I appreciate you being with us today. I'm Wayne Alley for WGTV. Back on WGTV today. It is Wednesday, October 10th, and the year is moving along. We're in the last quarter of the year, and the first thing you know, it'll be Halloween, then we'll be celebrating Thanksgiving, and then it'll be Christmas, and Happy New Year!
It just flies by, doesn't
it? It does. I can't keep up.
I know.
It moves on so quickly.
I know. We even have some special events happening this Saturday at Berkeley Mall.
We do?
What's
going on?
It's the Kids Fest, which is that is this weekend, which runs through the health department.
Okay.
It is going to be from 10 until 2. I've been many times. It's a great event. So it's Saturday, October the 13th, 10 until 2. It's a free event at Berkeley Mall. Various booths and displays pertaining to children will be set up and down the mall. The fire department will have trucks out front for children to be able to, and adults to be able to come and see. But it always sponsored by the Wayne County Health Department. If you'd like additional information, if you'd like to have a booth there, or if you'd like to just find out more, you can call 731-1290, and that is the Kids Fest at Berkeley Mall. And most of the booths that are set up are either different organizations that have information for children or provide services for children, or it's someone who has things they'd like to sell for children. But most of the time it's just usually free services that are provided throughout our county that are available to you, and this is a way to market and let you know and promote all the services that are available. I've been, like I said, been many years. The Partnership for Children is always a part of that, and it's a great, great event. Carolyn King puts that on and is a great organizer of the Kids Fest here in Wayne County, Berkeley Mall this Saturday.
She is that. She is a great organizer.
She is. She's done this for a long time.
That she has. Later this week, toward the end of this week, the Wayne Executive Jetport is the site of a fly-in. If you're at all interested in aviation, for one thing, they need volunteers. And if you can't volunteer, they need volunteers to help with spot landings. They need volunteers to help with vendor, aircraft, ramp assistants. They need setup helpers. They need people to help check in. Anyway, it's going to be a big event out at the airport. The Wayne Executive Jetport, GWW it is, fly-in, looking for volunteers. And if you can't volunteer, just go and have a good time. Of course, you have a good time anyway if you're a volunteer. But that's coming up this week on the 13th. That's Saturday, I believe. The spring planting workshop is coming up at the Cooperative Extension Service. Wayne Center is the location, and you can, it'll be about planting spring bulbs, whether it's tulips or daffodils or daylilies or iris or whatever. Hyacinths, all that's coming up, whether you're experienced or a rookie or a novice at this. It's for everybody. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's free. And
you mentioned this Saturday. Once again, that's this Saturday, but also the Friends of the Library book sale is Saturday, October the 13th. It's this Saturday, 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. It'll be at Wayne County Public Library. So this Saturday, mark your calendars, they'll be selling all kinds, hundreds and hundreds of books. I've been several times, and it's just amazing how many boxes of books they have there available for you to purchase at a great price.
And these are books, a lot of these books look like they're brand new and never been read. They look many of them look new.
They do.
And these are books that have been donated to the library, and the library sells them as a fundraiser.
That's right.
And if you enjoy reading, and I do, I enjoy books. I don't have a Kindle. Do you have a Kindle or Nook or any of those things? I don't either. Yeah, a lot of people do. They're very popular, but I have to have a book.
I do too. There's something about it. The Wayne County Museum, you know, we've talked about them several times, but through October 25th, they're having their Ships and Shore exhibit. It is free to the public. They're open Wednesday through Friday, 11 to 4, and on Saturday, it's also 11 to 4. But the Ships to Shores exhibit, through October 25th. It's been going on now for a couple months, but they're sort of starting to wrap things up at the Wayne County Museum.
All right. It was on this day, 1978, President Carter signed a law authorizing the Susan B. Anthony dollar. Whatever happened to that dollar? Well, it's out there, and you can still get them.
I've got one.
Have you? Okay. Yeah, they're still out there. Actor Billy Thomas passed away this day, died of a heart attack this day in 1980, and you're asking, well, who was Billy Thomas? I'm glad you asked. He died at the age of 49. You may remember the TV movie serials starring the Our Gang. Billy Thomas, you ever heard of Our Gang, Little Rascals?
Yep, Little Rascals.
Okay. He was buckwheat.
Oh, really? The original buckwheat?
The original, and you said it. He was the original. Some years ago, there was a guy who went on ABC News and was interviewed, and this was in 1980, rather in 1990, 10 years after Buckwheat passed away, some guy goes on TV and he says, "Yeah, I'm Billy Thomas, I'm Buckwheat," and he was a phony.
Oh,
But
my
he sold
goodness.
the ABC a bill of goods, and they interviewed him, and it was.
Oh, wow.
And then he was discovered after the fact.
Totally the wrong guy.
Totally the wrong guy. He was pretending to be somebody he wasn't. Let's see, this day, 1992, a 30-pound meteorite crashed through a lady's Chevy, parked outside her home in Peekskill. She heard the crash. No one was hurt, just the car. Totally ruined the car. 3 birthdays today. Brett Favre is 43. Dale Jr., Dale Earnhardt Jr. for NASCAR fans.
How old is he?
Is 38 years today. And
He's catching up with me.
Is he?
Yes, he's
Well,
catching
he'll
up.
make it. He just, things happen, And Chunky Mario Lopez. Chunk is not the word. He's not a chunk. He's a hunk. I'm sorry, hunk. I get all that confused. Hunk Mario Lopez is 39 today. I heard he was a hunk.
He's a cutie.
Is he? Okay, there you go.
Yep.
All right, well, happy, and all that stuff. All right.
Well, the Wayne Community College
Yes.
is having an Alzheimer's walk.
Oh,
So there's a lot of walks going around our community.
that's good.
But this one will be held at Wayne Community College, and it is Saturday, October the 20th. And it will be, all the proceeds will benefit the Alzheimer's community and the organization. And I'll get back with you on what time it starts. There was no information on that, but
Okay.
they'll get back with me on that. But do mark your calendars if you're interested. I think it's 11 a.m.
Okay.
But Saturday, October the 20th at Wayne Community College.
Very good. All right.
So who's coming up next?
Coming up next, we have our second interview with the Honorable Judge Arnold Jones. You will enjoy this one just as well. It's Judge Arnold Jones on WGTV today. Back on WGTV, we continue our series with the Honorable Judge Arnold Jones. Judge Jones is Senior Resident Superior Court Judge here in Wayne County. We thank you for being with us today, sir.
Glad to be here, Wayne.
Always a pleasure having you in the studio.
I love talking to you. We've been doing this for a long time.
We have been doing it for a long time. We talked before about the duties of your position as the senior resident of the Superior Court here. I wanted to ask you about the problems facing the judicial system in North Carolina and in the country, and what is your position on problems in the judicial system currently?
I think one of the problems is not only for our judiciary, but every probably entity out there, and it's funding.
Oh yeah.
And it's usually not because there's too much funding. It's usually because there's not enough. We have had some cuts here in our budget that have cut staff, and by cutting staff, let's just say at our district attorney level or at our clerk level, what that means is when we have less people to work, bottom line, we can't get as much work done. When I first started this job, it was not unusual for us to have double sessions of court. We had personnel to handle that. State budget cuts have come across, and district attorneys' offices have lost positions. They've been unable to, I think, although they're trying and working hard, they've not been able to handle the masses of matters that they were able to have. They're doing a good job with what they can do, but they've not been able to address things probably the same way they were 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Clerk's office is the same way, and so we as a court, we've had to readjust as well. I don't think we're losing quality. I think what we're doing is we've probably lost some ability to deal with the quantity. But what that means is when we're there, we have to work hard, and we try our best. We try to start a little early around here when I'm home.
Yeah.
And that has helped. I see the staff that we have handling those issues very well. The other issue I think we've got is jail space here in Wayne County, and I think it goes statewide. Legislature came in a couple years ago, and a lot of the cases that were being, or inmates that were being housed in the Department of Corrections, and they're now required to be housed in local facilities. So it's created sort of a, you got to think out of the box mentality with court officials. How do we keep our jail numbers low, yet at the same time protect our citizens? Because protecting our citizens is paramount to me, and I think it should be, and it will be. If we have to build a new jail, we'll have to do it, but we so far, knock on wood, have been able to keep working at it in different ways. Our county manager, Lee Smith, has given me some resources with electronic house arrest monitors and things of that nature. So these non-violent type offenders waiting trial, we can put on some type of monitoring system, free up some jail space so that the more serious offenders and more violent offenders, if you will, they are actually the ones who are staying in jail.
I know that the house arrest, the bracelet, the ankle bracelet,
Right.
that's been a very successful program. Do you find that to be the case?
I do. Now, as with everything else, you're going to have problems. I have found the problems to be minimal. You will have the occasional person who won't charge the equipment or doesn't want to play by the rules, and when that happens, the technology involved in these bracelets or hookups is such that they're caught fairly quickly, and then when that comes to the judge's attention, whether mine or a different judge, what usually happens, almost always happens, is the person's put back in jail. Right. And so it's not always going to be a perfect solution, but we've thought outside the box. We get together quarterly, and when I say we, the jailers, the sheriff, the clerk of court, the district attorney, attorneys, probation, and I'm probably leaving some folks out, day reporting center,
right.
The county manager. We've invited county commissioners just so they can see what we're trying to accomplish. We get together, we share ideas, we share issues, we share problems, we share triumphs, but we share. And none of us are better than the rest. We're all working towards the same goal. And I think these quarterly meetings that we have here in Wayne County have been very, very helpful and productive. So we're trying to adjust to these situations.
You mentioned when you're home. Now, when you're not home, where are you?
Oh man,
Man.
I can be a lot of places. Superior Court judges, we're on a rotation. It's constitutional. We
Right.
have to rotate. So what's happened over an 18-month period, this 6 months from July 1st to the end of the year, I'm in Wayne County.
Right.
You familiar with that place?
I've heard of it.
Starting in January, I'll be in Wilmington.
Oh.
For 6 months, and then July of 2013, I'm assigned to Kenansville and Clinton, which isn't too far from home.
No.
Duplin and Sampson County. And typically they try to keep us probably within an hour to an hour and a half of home.
Okay.
Occasionally we go further, but that's my travel plans for the next year and a half anyway.
Okay. What are some of the, would you say would be some of the misconceptions the general public has about the legal process here in North Carolina or nationally?
I think I get into this a lot of times with my jurors. And jurors come in weekly up here, and I like to take time with my jurors because, number one, I tell jurors there are two things you can do. We can all vote, and we can all serve on jurors, and take your voting responsibility seriously and take your jury service seriously. And what I also tell them as we get into the jury selection, there are three branches of government, all of equal importance. You've got your executive branch, you've got your, give you a little civics lessons, Wayne, I'm sure you're up on it, but you got your legislative branch and you've got your judicial branch. Right. And I will tell jurors, you probably know what your president did or your governor did because they're on the camera, they're under the microscope. Right. And you have an opinion about your president or your governor, whether it's positive or negative, we all have an opinion. As to your legislators, they also, probably not to the degree of your executive because there are more of them, but you know what your legislators are doing, you know the laws that are passed to a great extent, or or in general what's going on in Raleigh or in Washington, D.C., or at least we think we like to know what's going on. When it comes to our judicial branch, I've asked jurors, can you name your 7 judges that you vote for in Wayne County? Because there's 7. There's 6 district court judges and there's me. And I like it when they say, well, I know you, Judge Jones. But it's interesting because people, on average, really don't know all their judges. But there's a reason why. We're not on television.
Right.
If we're on television, it's usually because why? We've done something
not good.
Probably we shouldn't have done.
Right, right.
And fortunately, we've been blessed here in Wayne County.
That's why I never see you on TV.
I hope you
Judge.
don't. Unless it's sort of in the background, right? But you just don't know what your judges are doing because people just simply don't come to court. Yeah. You'll watch Judge Judy or other judges on television, and I think that our court system is more interesting than that. But to take time out of a busy schedule and go to the courtroom is not something most people want to do. In fact, when I'm out at a dinner or a barbecue or something like that, people will say, well, I'm sure glad to run into you here. I hope I never see you at work. But really, citizens I wish people would come up to court and watch court, at least have some basic knowledge of the court system, because it is one of our 3 branches, and the public perception is, you know, sometimes good, sometimes not good, but it's what you want your perception to be, and if you want your perception to improve, you need to become more knowledgeable and see what's going on.
Does anyone ever walk into your courtroom and say, well, this is the way I saw it on TV, or this is what
Sure.
Judge Judy did, or what People's Court did? Do they ever do that?
That happens, especially on jury instructions. I'll ask the question, how many of you ever watched CSI, NCIS, Law and Order, or even back in my day, LA Law? And they'll raise their hands, and I'll say, okay, so whatever your perceptions are about those shows, leave them at the door. Don't bring it in the courtroom.
Right.
And I'll even say to them, why is that? And they'll look at me, because they're to entertain. And I say, that's exactly right. And here we're searching for justice and truth. And there's a big difference in searching for justice and truth and being entertained. Right. And I think when you do that, people sort of, hey, you see that light bulb moment. I get it. And I think
very
that's
serious. This is real life.
Extremely. And lives are affected, lives are changed. I take this job as a huge responsibility. I'm thankful for the responsibility people in Wayne County have given me, but it is a huge responsibility, and I try to make sure the jurors and the people that I come in contact with understand just how serious this job is.
We only have a couple of minutes left, but give me an idea of a couple of the cases that you are that you find interesting that are either upcoming or that you're working on.
Well, I've had a lot. This is a fun job because it works your brain. You know, I had a case a few months ago where a gentleman came up. He was, I found him to be mentally retarded, and the issue was whether or not he should stay on death row or not. Very interesting.
That case.
And that was a protracted matter that went on for a while. Right now, coming up in late November, a civil case. You may remember the explosion out at Ocracoke, July 4th a few years ago.
Yes, I do.
That matter is being tried here in Wayne County in Courtroom 1 the last week of November, week right after Thanksgiving. There are several issues there that are quite interesting. Again, Courtroom 1 is your courtroom. Come up and watch.
Oh, wow.
And of course, you know, every day you'll see things in the paper, and what shows up in the paper in ink and paper shows up in my courtroom as a real life person. Right. And never forget, these people on either side of the aisle, they're human beings, and they have rights, and that can be a victim, that can be a defendant, but everybody has rights, and my job is to make sure those rights are protected.
Truth and justice. Every
day. Every day.
It's so good to see you.
Wayne, my pleasure.
My pleasure, sir.
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Arnold Jones, Superior Court, Senior Resident Superior Court Judge here in Wayne County. I'm Wayne Alley for WGTV. On WGTV today, and we're almost out of time, Kim.
We are, we do. I did want to tell everyone, though, this weekend, the Paramount Theater, you know, every weekend has lots of great events. Last weekend was The Illusionist. Well, this weekend, for years, for over 30 years, young ladies across our community have competed for the Wayne County Fire Princess title.
Oh, yeah.
Because all the volunteer fire departments all have their little princess to represent them, but they'll have their competition so they can have the one who will represent our entire county. That's this weekend, Saturday, October the 13th, 7 p.m., the Paramount Theater. The tickets are $12 each. You can get them at the Paramount now, but you can also get them the night at the door if there's some available. But that's Paramount Theater this weekend, Wayne County Fire Princess.
Oh boy, now that is a big, you know,
they have a sellout crowd every year. Their pictures were in the paper, I believe, recently.
That's right.
And all those young ladies have to work very hard.
They do work hard
at understanding fire prevention and all kinds of things they have to be familiar with to talk about in their interviews.
Wow. All right, well, and that's when?
That's this weekend, Saturday, October 13th.
The 3rd, okay.
That's
all
right.
Well, that's it for today. That wraps up our program for today. Thank you for being with us. Join us every morning at 7 a.m. on Channel 10
right.
or Channel 99, depending
on
your.
AT&T.
That's right, of AT&T, Channel 99, or Time Warner Channel 10. You can also pick us up on the on YouTube by simply going to either the city's website or the county's website and click on the YouTube link, and that'll take you right to our programs. In fact, if you missed a program, you can actually revert back.
Yeah, they're all on YouTube.
They're all on YouTube. So until tomorrow morning, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. I hope you learned what's happening in your community.